So geology is the study of the planet Earth, the materials that our planet is made up of, which is principally consist of rocks and the components of the rocks, the minerals, the processes that act upon those materials, and it's also the study of the history of life on our planet as provided by the fossil record. And there are different ways of studying rocks, but probably the most interesting and fun way to look at them is out in the field like this, and we have some spectacular outcrops. So this outcrop in front of us here shows a little piece of Earth history, and there are different ways that geologists study the Earth, including high-tech methods involving instrumentation and so on, but we can also determine a lot just looking at rocks in the field like this with some very basic observations, the sorts of observations that geologists have been making for over 100 years. So here we have a feature in front of us that's referred to as an angular unconformity. And just by looking at the arrangement of the different sedimentary layers in this outcrop, we can say something about how it developed. We know that sedimentary rocks, when they're originally deposited, are essentially flat-lying. So we see in the lower part of the outcrop, it's all steeply tilting at about 45 degrees. So when those rocks were deposited as sediment like this, loose sediment, on the Earth's surface, before it became rock, they were deposited horizontally, or almost horizontally. So after that happened, they must have been tilted, but we can see that the top of the outcrop, there's a discordance between the tilted layers, and then there's some relatively flat-lying layers on top. So after the tilting, there had to have been erosion with material removed, and then finally we have deposition of the sediments at the surface there that are relatively flat-lying. So that contact, that surface between the tilted rocks and the horizontal rocks is referred to as an unconformity, and it represents a period of lost time in the geologic record. In this case, it represents millions of years of geologic time that are missing in this record here because of the material that's been eroded.